Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
Jeezy's here.
What up, though? What's happening? What's happening?
The new book, Adversity for Sale, is out right now. Y'all gotta believe it.
Yes.
Let's get right into it. Why did you decide to write a book? Is quiet as you are about your history, your past, and everything you've been through. What made you decide to write a book?
Statute of limitations is up, far as I know.
Okay.
So I definitely ran everything through my lawyers.
Right.
That was first and foremost. It was actually a lot of stuff I had to take out of the book because I just didn't want to put myself in no crazy positions. But before I even say that, let me shout out to my brother right here to my right, because this book was something I had been working on, and I had one situation and it fell through. And I called Charlamagne. I was like, bro, who published your book? How did you get it done? And he pointed me in the right direction, and thank you for that, brother.
Oh, I love my brother.
He helped me get this done. So, just know Charlamagne had a lot to do with that. But right now, it's just like, you know me, Envy, man. Like, I've been through a lot, and I started to get on this journey of like healing, and that shit just felt magical to me, bro. It's like, I just want to share it. Because even when I was in the streets and I was talking about motivation, that's what I really wanted to do, motivate people. And now it's like I got all this information, all this new knowledge, all these new mentors, and I'm just getting all this data, and it's just like I can't take it with me. So I want to just share it. And I feel like, writing a song is cool because, we pretty much, anybody can make a record, but I don't think anybody can articulate their lives and put it in a book form and affect somebody else. And I know that I'm able to write. So this was personal for me, in the culture. And I'm hoping that somebody can get this book and really, find their way. I was lost as shit.
When did Jeezy change, right? And the reason I asked that is, since you started writing the book, everybody's doing interviews about old Jeezy,
right?
And we hear all the stories.
Right.
When did Jeezy change and become the new and improved Jeezy and less?
Oh, I can answer that just by reading the book.
when did that happen?
I mean, it happened a few times. The last time it happened is when I got locked up in LA on that Wiz Khalifa tour. It was just a reality check. You know what I'm saying? And I almost was, they basically tried to charge me with murder and my team with murder. And it's just like, I ain't do nothing wrong. So for me, that was one of the moments, like, no matter how successful you are, you know what I'm saying? They really still, and I just was like, man, I had to just switch it all up. And then a lot of things happened in the time that I was in jail that I thought some people was going to look out for me, but they didn't. And that really crushed me because it was just like, I always look out for everybody, bro. Like, I'm always taking care of people. And I just kind of felt like you just do it, because you're a real one. And then when you start figuring out, like, damn, you might be the only real person in this situation. Now you like, damn, I'm by myself. And I just had to, make a change, man. I remember just calling home and talking to my daughter. My first daughter had just been born then. And it was just embarrassing, man, to call, you're supposed to be this big man, this superstar, and you calling home, collect, from jail, and your baby's on the other line that can barely even talk, and she's, where you at? And you like, Daddy's gonna be home in a minute. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? It was like, damn, like, bro, you better, And so that was like the real time. But every time before that, it was just always instances where I just knew that this wasn't gonna work out for me, right? So I had to figure out how to change without losing everything. You know what I'm saying? Because it got a little point even with the music, and people say it all the time, I want your old music, but it's just like, that was my whole life. Like, I can't continue to give you something that I'm not doing. It's like me trying to give you some food in my house I don't even eat. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you get caught up in that, and then if you're not careful, you'll get stuck in that mindset, right? And you'll continue to do the same things. And that's why a lot of people didn't understand the verses. It's like, nah, bro, like, I started this, in my mind, I got to put an end to this. Like, I went to Nipsey Hussle's funeral. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I was there. I felt that pain. I felt that energy. And I'm like, I don't understand why Nip is not here no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why it hit me so serious when Pop Smoke died. Maybe because he was in my studio when I threw Puff a Super Bowl party. I didn't even know who Pop was. He was with Meek and Fab and all these guys. He was in my studio house. We all partied. And I was like, who's that? They're like, Pop. I was like, okay, cool. The next time you hear about him, he's dead. But like, why he did all this work, to become a superstar and to get out of Brooklyn, and then you go die in the hills. So I'm just looking at this and I'm like, how can I be effective because I'm not trying to preach or teach to nobody, but it's just like, bro, on the other side of the bullshit, it's a whole nother life, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like peace and happiness and family and real friends.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? People you can call and say, hey, you know, and Jan's my heart, by the way.
Salute to Jan, love
Man,
Jan.
salute to Jan, like she's my heart, bro. Like we're really friends.
Absolutely.
Right. And she goes hard for me. She don't know my walk of life, but just imagine, you know.
She feel your spirit.
Right. And it's a relationship, and that's what real friends are. They turn you on to other people, and, you know, people help each other out instead of try to bring you down. So that's what the book is really about to me. It's about building and being and understanding that, like, it ain't never too late to be better, man.
One big transformation that's in the book, right around the recession time, when you decided to lose weight and everything.
Yeah, that's when I got my sex symbol on. that was a good time. Which part are you talking about in particular?
Well, you said you didn't like the way, all of that. You didn't like the way you were living. You weren't drinking no water. You weren't eating right.
Crystal and Waffle House.
Yeah. You decided to lose 60 pounds.
Yeah, I did. And the crazy thing was, well, what I really realized, like, because that was around the recession. I wrote the recession. The recession was the first time I, like, dialed everything back and was just really focused on the music. I wasn't doing no partying, no nothing. I was just working out, reading, learning. And it was like, when I went out there to do that tour, that was the first time I felt like a star. You feel what I'm saying? Because every time before that, up until that, I was going through, you know, survivor's remorse. I was depressed. I was going through all these things. But now I'm shaking this off, and I lost 60 pounds. And instead of it being all these gangsters in the front row, now it's ladies, and they throwing bras, and I'm like, I ain't never going back. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was the first time I really embraced, you know, who I was becoming. And also, too, I started to notice, like, when I was healthier, I was just making better decisions in life, bro. Because this is the thing, like, we all real, everybody come from where they come from, but you only get one shot. You know what I'm saying? Like they say, you born, you look like your daddy. When you die, you look like your decision.
That's right.
So at the end of the day, bro, it's just like, you know, I could have took a lot of right and left turns and did a lot of crazy things, but I was brave enough to start making decisions that I can actually live a life. You know what I'm saying? Rather than to look like I was living a life. Because that's what goes on in our culture. We all look like we living good, but are we really?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, are we happy? Are we at peace? You know what I mean? Do we got real people around us? All those things weren't happening for me. I was basically like getting up every day, playing this role. You know what I'm saying? And in it, but hoping I stay alive or free. You know what I'm saying? So imagine that. You know, you got the world in your hands, and it's just like, you know, it's not really in your hands, bro. Like, you know, you can wake up tomorrow, that shit'll be all gone.
Now you talk about changing, but also part of that was forgiving and letting go.
Right.
When did you get to that point? Because, you know, from, you know, where you come from, the streets is a lot of times we don't forgive, we don't forget.
Right.
But, you know, you have recently with artists, with people, with the industry, with everybody.
I forgive, but I don't forget. I had to learn how to forgive myself. You know what I'm saying? I had, because, you know, a lot of things, you know, we all make decisions, bro. Like, you're not going to be right every time, right? And you're not going to be, you know, true to your purpose every time, because you don't know your purpose as you're going. But, you know, I had to just forgive myself first, and then start to understand that if I have this hate and this malice in my heart towards somebody, it only hurts me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it only, every day I get up and I'm upset and I'm mad and this is how I feel. The other person don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? They living their life. They don't care how I feel. And once I started doing that, it just opened up a whole nother, you know, just a whole nother me, because now I can go into a situation and I'm not taking things personal. I used to take everything personal, right? And now I'm not taking things personal. It's just like, I get it, bro. That's how you feel. I respect that. That's not my reality, so I'm gonna keep it moving.
Why adversity for sale?
Because I feel like adversity was the biggest teacher for me, right? Adversity taught me losing taught me so much, man. Every time I lost, I just walked out of there and I'm just like, okay, what did I learn? And I started to break down, you know, just how I was learning, and it was basically through all my losses. Like, I learned every time I wasted money. I learned every time I wasted a relationship. I learned every time, you know, I wasted my time and my energy on something. And I'm sitting here and I'm going like, when you look at the world, everybody shows you how they winning, how they succeed, what I'm riding, how I'm living. They don't ever talk about what they lost, right? So you see the finished product, and that's why the instant gratification comes in, because everybody feel like they can walk outside and be you tomorrow. That's where the hate come from, really, because you feel like I can stand beside you and be you tomorrow, but you ain't went through what I went through. So adversity to me is just like, I would rather focus on that than saying I won, right? I'd rather tell you all the times I lost, because that's what the value was for me. So I'd rather sell you that, you know what I'm saying, than anything. But you got to believe, you know what I'm saying? I can give you the adversity, but you have to believe. I mean, that's sold separately, you know what I'm saying? And that ain't got nothing to do with me.
I love the book, but do you feel like, I still feel like you was kind of guarded?
Well,
because there's certain parts you'd be like, that's a whole other book, you know what I mean? Especially in your time in making.
Yeah.
You told it a little bit, but you didn't.
Well, two things. The book to me wasn't about any malice, so I didn't want to throw anybody under the bus, because that wasn't my intentions at all. The second thing is, you got to understand, Charlamagne, you know, I am still, coming from being a street guy, so I got to still live by moral code.
Absolutely.
Like, I can't go out here and just, I can't believe I'm talking this much, but anyway. But it gives me a sense of freedom I can't front, because I've had to sit back and not say nothing about a lot of things, but this is my story, my life, my perspective, but I'm not going to throw you under the bus in the process, because I don't feel like that's going to help anybody, right? And for me, it's just like, if you know, you know, and if you don't, then that means you're not supposed to know. So that's as deep as I was willing to go to maintain my integrity. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Now, you dropped it young, a long time ago.
Yes, sir.
So do you want to be known more as Jay Jenkins now?
I like the Jeezy Jenkins, though. It's kind of cool.
Jenkins,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I mean, for me, it's like, and I can only ask you, like, how you felt like being an author, because it's just a different energy. I've been doing book signings, running around, but it's like, it's cool to read. And when you see these, these guys coming off the streets buying 3-4 books, you're
That's
like,
right.
damn, this, and they telling you, like, I hope this, helps me out of what I'm trying to do. And the crazy thing is, like, when you looked at Pac and everybody was looking at his whole thug life movement, he really just stood for something. He just had to word it so that we can relate to it, right? And you think about thug motivation, you just had to word it, but it was basically, you standing for something. And when you think about Jeezy Jenkins, it's like it's been young. Then it was Jeezy. Now it was Jeezy Jenkins. So that's the evolution of everything that I've been, right? And I get to say that now as a proud, like, author, right? And where I'm from, nobody even wants to hear your story, right? So for me to be able to be called Jeezy Jenkins, that means you respect everything I am and everything that I've embodied. And I love that. That's like an accomplishment.
Was there anybody you had to talk to before you put this book out? Like, let them know, like, hey, I'm telling this story, I'm telling that story.
No, because I just did it from, just a place of being real and not having any malice, not like trying to, be, devious or just like, So I didn't feel like, because when people tell stories, they just tell stories, right? Of course, everybody got their own, idea of what happened. So I didn't feel like I don't feel like anybody's gonna come out and say, yo, you ain't tell the truth about that. Because we all was in agreement of what happened. Because we was all there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But I haven't had anything yet, so that's good.
They said now writing this book helped you overcome fear of failure. Why is that?
Well, not even just failure. Writing this book just was very therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? Because, when you write and you have to read this back to yourself, like, you reliving all that trauma. And I've just been so good at, like, just putting stuff to the side and not dealing with it, right? And I tell everybody, like, even when I read the chapter about with Shakir was in it,
Man,
it just, I had to read it out loud and I had to go through what I was feeling emotionally. And it was probably like one of the first times I dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? Because when it happened, I didn't grieve it right. Like, I didn't go through the process. I just put it with everything else that ever happened to me. But I'm like, this is a real human being. This is my friend. This is somebody who changed my life. This is not one of your homeboys from the neighborhood who chose to live, this type of life. And it was just moments like that that really caught me off guard, because, I'm a solid dude. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? But I had learned how to basically be emotionless,
Is that because of your guy? I don't want to give too much away, but your guy that used to always be like, glad it ain't me.
Yeah. I mean, well, the thing is, once you go through so much in life and you have so much loss, you just come to grips with it and you understand this is just a part of life. And that's cool. But you still have to, and this is like some of the information and knowledge I learned, you still have to allow yourself to feel.
That's right.
And that's what I wasn't doing, right? But I felt like that made me tougher, which is why when y'all always see me all the time, probably why y'all be like, yo, that nigga crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm guarded because I feel like that's what's going to keep me safe. That's what's going to keep me solid, right? And you build this wall and it also keeps people out, yeah, but it also blocks your blessings from coming in, you know what I'm saying? And I just had to realize that. And you know, I'm not there yet, you know what I'm saying? But I'm getting better with understanding that it's okay to feel that way. And I'm hoping that my transparency when it comes to us and people we, you know, people we grew up with understand, like, it's okay not to be okay, right? It's okay to feel. Like, you don't have to walk around here and be a shell of a man, you know, because that shit affects your kids. It affects your family. It affects your friends, you know? And a lot of my friends didn't even know me. They thought they did.
They knew the character you was portraying.
Right.
The shit,
They knew.
the mask you was wearing at the time.
Right. They knew that, but as soon as I started having real conversations, I'm like, damn, man, like, you know, you going through that too? You know what I mean? Now we helping each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and people don't believe that. Like, even with me and Nipsey used to talk. That's why I love Nipsey so much, man. Like, Nipsey would talk to me about books, and we would be in the club, like, and everybody partying, and he like, yo, you read, you know, and we just talking.
That was him.
And I just thought that was fascinating because I was there too, because I'm trying to get knowledge, but I'm like, damn, like, who would have ever thought that Nipsey Hussle would be the person that I could talk to about books?
Oh, that was him. You know, it's so funny. I was looking at this was recently. I was looking at the last conversation we was having, like via text, and it was him asking me about a book.
A book,
He
right?
was telling me to get him a copy of this book.
Right. No, that's crazy, bro. Yep. And you know, long live Nip.
Absolutely. I was gonna ask, you know, your Subway sandwich conversation. Does it ever bother you that people miss the message of you saying I did this to
right, you missed the
grind
whole
out?
point.
You're so concerned with how much the sandwich costs,
right?
That you missed the message of what you were trying to say.
You know what, man? Monty used to tell me, man, you gotta leave ignorance where it's at, and I just could do the best I can to relay the message. It's on you to get it, but that was the craziest thing. I'm like, hold up, wait a minute.
For weeks they were talking about
in the book. It makes sense though. In the context when you read it in the book, it makes sense.
Okay, so you did get in the book, yeah. And the point in case was like, no, I was so focused that I went to this place every day to eat because I knew I was going to spend a certain amount of money, right, and I could save the rest of my money. And to me, that was me building, you know, my financial literacy skills and teaching myself how to manage money, and that was the point I was trying to make.
No, we caught the point. I caught the point.
Subway ain't gave me no money to be.
but I think that in the book, you did that because you was hustling at a certain time.
Correct.
Right.
So that certain time of day you was hustling,
right,
that was part of your routine. But you was still having breakfast and still having dinner. And all that. That's what it says in the book. You get it.
Yeah. So I was still, you know, doing my thing. And by the way, like, a lot of people didn't even know, like, this is a, you know, I don't want to dive too deep in it, but you talking about a town that probably had a population of 2,100 people.
I've
it's
been
like
there.
you've been to the.
I've been there.
It's like the first one of our fast food restaurants. So it was like, you gotta look at the cost of living around. Everybody working at family, they can't charge what they charge in New York or California for a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's that. But I'm glad you brought that up.
What does 50 years of hip hop mean to Jeezy?
Man, I mean, it's so young. It's so young, but yet so powerful, man. Like, when I look around, I see my peers, man, I'm just proud, bro. Like, I'm just proud to see, like, the dramas and all these guys just being so successful and changing lives, making companies and holding down platforms. And it's only 50 years old. You know, think about that. You see it, and you know, I don't know what hip hop makes, you know, just all the way around. I mean, even for yourself, car shows and you know, and the stuff you do, like, I don't know what it makes if we all, you know, just, you know, just the billions that it makes, but it's 50 years old. Just imagine seeing a 50-year-old person that's worth, you know, $200-300 billion because he affects everything. So just look at hip hop as a person. It's like we all been able to eat off of it, right? And we all been able to learn,
right?
And I tell people all the time, like, I learned from Tupac, you know, like, which is why my music was always serious to me. Like, why I never just wrote it for money. Like, I didn't write the book for money. We could take the book off the table and I'll still be here because this is my purpose. But hip hop gave me a purpose. Hip hop gave me a voice. Hip hop gave me a platform. Hip hop saved my life, right? You feel what I'm saying? Because I could have been out of here. And God willing, you know, I never thought I would be doing music in real life.
Who are some of your biggest influences for people that don't know growing up? You know, hip hop turns 50 this Friday. So, like, who was the reason that you said, nah, I want to do that because of this, or because I heard that, or because I seen this?
You had a couple names in the book that surprised me.
Yeah.
One in particular, but
Who's that?
Trick. And I love Trick.
I love Trick. Yeah. Well, that was because I was hustling in Florida at some point, and Trick was like, he was like the God down there. And he was just speaking real talk, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about my money and all those songs he had, like I just resonated with it, and that's when I was kind of getting a little Florida vibe. But to answer your question, like, to me, the biggest entrepreneurs I saw that I could figure out how they was doing it was the Master P's and the Cash Money, because they was showing us all the stuff that we wanted. Like, when you first saw the Hunt video, like, I'd never seen a yellow Ferrari in the middle of the projects. Like, I wanted that, you know? And I went out and I achieved that. I got the yellow Ferrari. I got the 2-3 Rolexes at one time. I had the GS 400 Lexus, the GS 300 Lexus, but I was watching them, right? So that made me want to do what they was doing, because that was the only way I saw that you can get money. Now, what made me change my life was when I was in boot camp, and the first time I heard over the radio, Dear Mama and So Many Tears from Tupac. Now that's when it changed on a
Personal.
I love what Cash Money and No Limit was doing this musically, but like Tupac touched me, bro. Like, he was my preacher, my mentor, my go-to. Like, this is how I'm learning, and because like I said again, like, you know, when you come up the way we come up, a lot of people didn't have morals and values at that time because they was just trying to survive. So I was getting all my morals from Tupac. That's how I kind of knew what not to do, what not to say, and how not to talk and how not to be. And to me, when music affects you like that, that's something different, you know, because you listen to music nowadays, people just, you know, they say whatever and it sounds good, but like nobody's like touching the hearts of women, men, and children, you know. Like Pac, and that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to touch the hearts of women, men, and children, and that's what made me want to do it.
I love reading books like yours because you get to see how a whole city grew and evolved, right? Atlanta. Right. I didn't realize Shorty Red had that much influence over your whole career. I mean, we knew he was one of your go-tos when it came to production, but I'm talking about just as far as everything.
Yeah, no, Shorty, you know, and for what it's worth, you know, I feel Shorty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel what he's going through, where he's at with it. I've been there. You know, we just got to all just climb out of there. But as far as, like, showing me, you know, the ropes and allowing me to be around so I can understand what to do musically, that was all me just hanging around him. And then when we created a sound, that was me and him sitting in his basement and just kept trying that. And I never forget, he was dating this girl. And I don't know if I said that in the book. I'm going to say it now, but he was dating this girl. And she came downstairs one day and she was like, I don't even know why y'all keep doing that. It's not going to work. Y'all ain't going to never be nothing.
Damn.
And I was just like, first of all, you need to get rid of her.
That wasn't, I don't remember that.
And she's so wrong, right? Right. You know what I'm saying? She's so wrong. And I just was like, damn. And that made me want to go harder. But, you know, Shawty believed in me then. You know what I'm saying? And again, like, a lot of things happen, like fame happened, success happened, and, you know, I just ran with the wind, right? So maybe we didn't have the conversations of how that was going to work out if I was to succeed, right? Because I was running 100 miles an hour trying to get out of the streets. I don't think he understood that part. He looking at it as an artist, but I'm like, I got to go now. You know what I'm saying? I got motion. I got roll. Yeah.
Is there anything that you feel like you left out of the book? I mean, you didn't even get into your new life, being a husband.
Yep,
you know?
yep. Well, I felt, you know, and people ask me that, and you know how you want to show everybody every room in your house except your bedroom, because it's sacred.
Absolutely.
Like, it's your one thing. It's like that's my sacred place. Like, I don't want nobody. I don't want all these things that I went through to even, you know, connect with that, because I feel like, you know, I don't want that energy with my new life. I feel like I'm writing something to stop that chapter, and if you peep while I stop the chapter, And if you watch how I live my life, and people are like, why'd you stop on verses? I said, because that's when I made a decision. That was the decision, evolve or die. So, bam, stop right there, and I'm going to evolve. Y'all deal with that shit. That's on y'all to figure out. I ain't got to never do another record in my life.
It felt like when Will Smith, if you read Will Smith's book, he ends his book jumping out of the plane.
Yeah.
And that's how you feel like you left yours.
Yeah, because you know, to a lot of people, verses was just music, but it was so much behind that culturally, right. and one of us had to make a decision, right? Because if it would have went the way everybody wanted it to go or thought it was gonna go, then we would be in the same place. And there's not any, you know, just any place, safe place for somebody to say, hey, bro, I don't really get along with what you talking about, but we gotta figure this out, which is the conflict resolution, right? Mm-hmm. Because when I look at Young Thug and Lucci, that hurt my heart, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because like somebody had to get in that and be like, bro, listen, you know, however it went, like, you know, we went to war with, you know, Vietnam and all these other countries, but we still had, after the fight, we had to figure it out because we still have to live, right? And my thing is, when I see these guys sitting in jail and prison and all their people was out here starving and the people they was taking care of and employing and all that, is a wrap. But for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, because we can't sit down. So that's what verses was about to me. And I'm going to keep it 1,000. I ain't need to do no verses. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for the culture, I owe them that. I'm the one that was telling them to go out here and do what they had to do. So how I'm going to go make another move and do what I got to do and I tell y'all, hey, look, bro, I'm going to make this decision for all of us. And it might be unfavorable. Everybody might not get it, but you will before it's over with.
And I love how you broke down where you were at in that moment when the truth played.
Yeah.
It was like, you was like, stay scrapped could have came.
Oh, no, it was,
you made a
no,
choice.
It was there.
It was right there.
Ace was queued up.
That's right.
Ace was ready to go. He could have set it off.
That's right.
And I just, in my mind, I just said what I had to say because it didn't affect me then. It's not going to affect me now. And we already done went through about 15 years of this. So I'm moving on, bro. You know, and that's in front of the world, right? In front of everybody that respects me and might not respect me tomorrow, but they ain't got shit to do with my kids, my life, my legacy, none of that. You know, we all have to do things that are unfavorable to change and save lives. And I'll take that. I mean, somebody might say, yo, man, I feel like you was this for not doing that. That's how you feel, bro. But if you ain't seeing these guys die, because I'm not even talking about just rappers. I'm talking about people that I know from the streets. You know what I'm saying? It's like it never stops. My stepmom just called me. Her nephew just got killed. He was over my house last Father's Day. You know, it's a good kid. I'm just like, damn. Like, he ain't got nothing to do with it, but they're listening to us. So let me be the person to take that lick for all of us, right? And that's why I stopped the book there, because I'm going on to live my new life. Right. And if y'all want Jeezy, he back there. Now, if you want Jeezy Jenkins, he's at the Breakfast Club. Right. You feel me?
And Adversity for Sale is in stores right now.
That's right. The book is out right now. Make sure you go pick it up. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeezy, we appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate y'all, brother.
And you read your book, too. You read the audio version.
Yes, I read the audio version. The book is out right now. You can get it anywhere books are sold. That's Audible, that's Amazon, and every bookstore in your neighborhood. Right. Barnes & Nobles. Love.
There you have it. It's The Breakfast Club. It's Jeezy.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.